wanting to know more about the financial standpoints of blended family. We're going to talk about my money, his money, our money.
Now I'm nervous because of this conversation because I don't know how it's going to go.
What was his rights? What was her rights? What was my rights? Because I was new to this.
When you give in to something that you second guess later, it can't be changed.
Wow.
Because a final divorce is a final divorce.
Sure.
If you don't have a plan, the state has a plan. You are not finished just with the divorce decree.
Make sure you plan for the future. I know it's sometimes the most difficult thing to do, but it's an important thing to do.
Divorce is a very emotional. I tell a lot of my clients is almost like a death.
I just didn't want to make things any more, difficult than a divorce can already be.
When a person dies and there's money, families, sisters and brothers, they fight. You're not focused on what you really need to be focused on.
Wow.
Hello, my Dope Blend family. I am so excited about today's episode. You guys have been heard. You've been sending DMs. We've heard everything you've said in regards to wanting to know more about the financial standpoints of blended family. I mean, it's been crazy, right?
It has been crazy. Y'all been blowing it up, and now I'm nervous because of this conversation because I don't know how it's going to go. When she started talking about my money, his money, her money, it's all her money.
All things, all things. And I think it's important. We're going to talk about my money, his money, our money, what those financial aspects of being in a blended family looks like, that dynamic. We're going to break it down. I think it's a conversation that needs to be had, and it may be a little bit uncomfortable, but we got some experts in the house today, and I cannot wait to hear about all the knowledge that they have. We have 2 attorneys in the house, right, babe?
2 attorneys in the house, and they're going to break it down.
All right. So we're going to get started. Are y'all ready?
Let's go.
You ready? Let's do it. Okay, on today's episode, I'm going to let my husband introduce the guest, give him a chance.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
This season they want me to do more than be a co-host. Last season I was just a co-host, but this time I actually get to talk. And I'm excited because we have some amazing guests today, and that is none other than attorney Marita Davis Johnson. So glad to have you today.
Yes,
Thank you
so
for
glad to
joining
have
us.
you. Thank you.
And then next to my lovely wife is attorney Gregory Coleman.
Yes.
And I love your name, sir.
I like yours.
Well, thank you for the introduction. We are so excited. You guys, they have over 30 plus years of, practicing law, and we want to hear from them. I'm going to let them talk a little bit about, their career and a little bit about their practice. So, Mr. Gregory, do you want to start today just to tell us a little bit about the probate side of it?
Well, I can. First of all, we were a full service law firm.
Okay.
And so there's a range of areas in which we practice. Marita handles the domestic area, which is quite comprehensive. And she may want to tell you more about that. I handle wills and estates, bankruptcy. And we have another partner who handles personal injuries.
Okay.
And so and then there are some adjunct areas to go with those, but those are the main areas that we practice.
Sure.
Okay. Marita?
Yes, it's good to see both of you on.
Thank you.
I practice domestic, but I try to call it family.
Okay.
Because what I deal with is basically the family.
Okay.
Whether it is divorce, child support, child custody, anything dealing with the family, prenuptial agreements as well.
Okay.
And so I've been practicing for 37 years.
Awesome.
Started off practicing with my husband, Congressman Hank Johnson.
Absolutely.
And when he went to D.C., the 3 of us started practicing, and we've been practicing ever since. And so I'm just excited to be here and to share with you some background in family law. I also was the first black female judge in DeKalb
Wow.
County.
Wow.
And
That's
so, so I went from that, and now I am the commissioner of the 5th District in DeKalb County. And I'll say this, no matter what I do, it always go back to the practice of law.
Wow.
Because I have been practicing for many years. And so look forward to a robust conversation.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And it's meant for us to sit next to each other because everything that you listed, just about I have had experience with.
Yes, yes.
Divorce,
Yeah.
custody, child support. The only thing I haven't done was I didn't have her sign a prenup.
I think I probably should have did that one.
Okay, we're going to find out.
So in today's episode, I think, we're just going to go right into it. I think it's important that we, talk about our experiences. We've done that in season 1. And I think even in this conversation, I want to piggyback a little bit off of the first season. Because as you all know, we are a blended family. My husband is divorced, as he just has said, and we've dealt with the whole child support situation. And in the divorce episode, Greg talked about letting go. He also, I don't think we really went into the process of when he was ready to just say it's over. And when we got into the actual portion of court and what that looked like in, filing for divorce.
Right.
And I think we need to go a little bit into that just a little bit, because when I came into the picture, the first thing I said was, "Can I see those divorce papers?" Remember I said that? I was like, I need to look at those divorce papers because I wanted to see what the outline looked like. What was his rights? What was her rights? What was my rights? Because I was new to this. I had never had any kids. I was new to a marriage. So I really needed to understand all of it. And I knew that my husband didn't contest anything.
Correct. Yeah, I was trying to keep peace. I was trying to, keep it as amicable as possible. I did talk on season 1 about, I remember the terminology that they used at that time. I don't know if they still do, but at that time they considered it the leaver and the leavee.
Oh, okay.
And I was considered the leaver and she was the leavee. And so I don't know if it was the guilt. I don't know if it was the desire to, in knowing that we had children involved, that I just didn't want to make things any more, difficult than a divorce can already be. So I literally just was willing to hand over
Everything.
well, not everything. She
Well,
thinks everything.
I'll just say this, is that is when the attorney comes in at the time of the divorce. Because I tell you, divorce is a very emotional,
Yes, ma'am.
And I tell a lot of my clients is almost like a death.
Correct.
And you go through different stages. And once the divorce is granted, it's like closing the coffin and moving on. And that's what you all have done, moved on.
Yeah.
And so many people feel like
Yeah.
you did. So
Sure.
you're not unusual. You just want to get through it.
Yes, ma'am.
But the attorney, is
Sure.
pretty much hired to protect
Sure.
your interests
Yes,
and
ma'am.
your rights.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I always tell my clients, after a year, I want you to look back and refer clients to me and say, well, she was a pretty good attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe been a little tough, but
Right.
she was a pretty good attorney. And that's because when you are emotional, you're not focused on what you really need
Wow.
to be focused
Wow.
on.
Wow.
You need to determine at that point, once your rights are settled, they're settled.
That's correct. You're right.
You know?
You're
And
absolutely
so
right.
therefore, when you give in to something that you second guess later, it can't be changed.
Wow.
Because a final divorce is a final divorce.
Sure.
And I understand that you have children that's in college.
Yes, ma'am.
And so many people I've seen, just to get along, will want to sign an agreement to say that I'm going to support the children through college.
Okay.
You know, you probably don't want to sign that.
No, ma'am.
Because first of all, you don't know what college
Correct.
they're going to go to.
You are not lying.
And you don't know the cost
That's correct.
of that college.
correct.
So
That's correct.
that's probably something
correct.
that you would want to do
Sure.
outside.
Sure.
You talk about your money, his money, and
Our money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, after the divorce, it's your money, and when you marry again, and what you bring into that marriage is separate property, and then what you have accumulated in the second marriage
Yes.
is marital property.
Okay.
So the first spouse will have nothing to do
Okay.
With
with what you have accumulated
Yes.
during your marriage.
Can I interject just for
Yeah.
a second? Because I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are not aware of that. And I want to rewind just a little bit, because one thing that I noticed you said was, when you divorce, it's concrete. It is what it is. Is there a difference when it comes to child support between a divorce decree and just someone going to court to obtain child support from just a civil relationship that never went to marriage? Is it two different things?
I say that it's a final decree, and it is a final decree. But when it comes to children or alimony, it can be modified.
Got it.
Because child support is determined based upon the spouse's income, the non-custodian's
Sure.
income.
Right.
So, and that can be changed modified every 2 years.
My God.
If you're, well, only if your spouse is aware of any additional income or promotions
Understood.
or jobs.
Yes,
or,
ma'am.
Are you required?
Huh?
Are you required to allow the
disclose
other?
that?
Yeah, are you allowed?
No, I mean, once you
It's just
divorce,
if they're
you don't,
aware of
but
it,
if
then
they
Okay.
become aware,
Right. Then they have
of
the
that,
opportunity to go
they
back
have
and
the
have it.
opportunity. And
reopened.
usually, in an amicable type of situation where you doing what you're supposed to do, you paying your support, you're seeing the children, many of them do not
Right.
Okay.
modify. But now if you hit the lottery,
Don't you worry
You
about
better
it.
watch out.
if you hit the
I'm gonna wait till they turn 18, and I'm gonna turn that ticket in.
yeah.
So you have something to say,
Yes,
Mr.
I
Coleman?
do.
Okay, go ahead.
I would agree with everything Marita just
And
told
and
me.
I do want to add something when she was talking about, and I'll do that after he
Okay.
speak.
I would say you're not finished. What happens when you pass away?
That was I was
Yeah.
going to ask you.
It depends, and that's a big question, and it depends on a lot of factors. Now, if you bought the new home, which is a marital property with the new wife,
Yes.
whose name is on the deed? If it's just your name and you
Yes.
die without a will, your daughters can inherit from you.
Okay.
And so that would put your daughters and your wife right back together. And if they die, and I've had this to happen, who are their heirs? If their heirs are just their mother, she can inherit.
Wait a minute.
So that's a precautionary
minute.
picture that I always put out there because it can happen, and I've seen it happen.
In the words of Aunt Esther from Sanford and Son, wait 1 minuet.
Wow. So what would you say that when you're in the process of putting everything in place for the divorce decree and everything has been solidified?
You need planning. You need estate planning. You need a will or a trust to make sure that does not happen. Now, usually if there are different, suppose you and she had more children, and you had two different sets of children.
Correct. Which is the case.
Which is the case.
For us.
And so they can inherit from you, but your initial children will inherit from you also.
Understood.
And sometimes we take care of that with insurance policies to equalize the situations. If you don't want to slight or deny any of the children,
Sure.
you may want your wife and the new set of children to inherit together, and the others you'll take care of them with an insurance policy or with some other asset.
Understood.
But understand that they can still inherit from you. You are not finished with the divorce, just with the divorce decree. You have to plan further to make sure that things come out the way you want. Because if you don't have a plan, the state has a plan.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And the state's plan does not allow your heirs to inherit from her. They can only inherit from you.
Understood. That makes sense. I understood exactly what you just said.
And I just want to make the point that when I say the coffin is closed,
Yes.
I take it from the divorce.
Yes.
Now, once my client is divorced, I usually refer them
Okay.
to Greg.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
And we
Because he
reopen the
does.
coffin.
We'll reopen the coffin.
Yeah, because
They exhume. They exhume the body.
yeah,
Exhume the divorce body.
yeah, because he takes it from there. But I will say that when a child is born, and you asked about that, when a child is born outside of wedlock, the child is the illegitimate child of the father. So that means that the mother has sole custody, sole rights. So unless that child is legitimated, that father has no right or say so over that child at all. The only thing that the father would be forced to do is pay child support.
Wow.
But now, even if they are put on child support, they have the ability to request a blood test, a DNA.
Sure.
Now,
Sure.
a DNA. Now, if they consent to the child being theirs
Yes.
without
DNA.
requesting the DNA,
Yes.
that's their legal
They've
child.
already. Okay. Wow.
And they will pay child support
Because now they.
until because they have that option to do so.
Wow.
What's interesting for me is that you used the analogy of death, because if you go back to season 1, when on our divorce episode, I've always referred to divorce as a death. You grieve. You go
grieve.
through mourning. You mourn
Right.
the death of a relationship, right? So I can identify that with that completely. What's interesting is that you mentioned that when you go through divorce, it's an emotional state. Most of the time you're in an emotional state, so you make emotionally led decisions, right? Whereas for me, that was the case, and you said that what saves you is an attorney, right? That's what can help you to make more intelligent decisions. The reason why I wanted to circle back to that, if I may, is because I didn't have an attorney.
Oh, now that's a problem.
I did not have an attorney. She had an attorney. As a matter of fact, I shared the attorney costs for her attorney, and
She said,
and she and they created the entire workup of the divorce decree, and I signed it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Please
Okay.
do. Please do.
This is the Attorney Dope Blend podcast.
Why did you decide to go forth without an attorney?
So glad you asked, because I was broke.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was I had a recent conversation with one of our sons has a classmate, and his father is currently going through a divorce process as well. And we sat down and we had an in-depth conversation, and he has attorneys. And he explained how, the fees are accruing and they're becoming more expensive. But in his case, he was sharing with me how it's worth it though, because it's working on his behalf. I shared with him that I think more, especially, I'll go as far as saying men. I could be, wrong in making that assumption, but I feel like in many cases, men assume that an attorney is going to cost, just an insurmountable amount. I can't think of the right word I'm trying to say, but so the assumption is there that it's going to cost so much that it's easier for them to just forfeit that and go with the plan of, the ex-wife or the mom having an attorney. So for me, it was the case that when I went through my divorce, by the time the divorce was over, I was broke, you know, and I couldn't fathom the amount of finding the money that it might cost, because I didn't even do the research. I never even took the time to investigate what it might cost to have an attorney. And again, I was in a place of, let me make this as easy as possible. So she got an attorney, and the decision was made that we'll just go up whatever y'all come up with.
And can I add to that? I think on one hand, you got to be very careful of that, because he came from a place of emotion of, couldn't afford it, I didn't have it. But the other person can come from the aspect of, I'm bitter, I'm mad and angry, so I'm going for everything. You know what I'm saying? So what they're sometimes I feel like the men, and I'm probably going to get a lot of slack for this, but this is how I feel, because I feel like I'm on both sides of the spectrum. I am a mother of my boys, but I'm a bonus mom, and I see what he has gone through. And I feel like men get the short end of the stick. I really do. And I think also men feel like, what's the point of having an attorney when the courts are going to favor the mother?
Well, if I don't want to
I've
cut you
heard it.
off, because but you maybe you could answer whether this is true or not. But my recollection of the divorce process was that even the decree is written as she, her.
Well, you know, I'll say this. You know, I don't think it's a man woman thing.
Okay.
You know, because many women divorce represent or start off representing themselves the same as some men.
Okay. That's good.
That's the same. But one thing about it, the income between women and men, you know, are not equal.
Yes, ma'am. That's true.
And usually, it's been my observation that men come into the marriage and the divorce with more income than women.
Okay.
Now, there are exceptions to that,
Okay.
but that's the general
Makes sense.
rule.
Makes sense.
And so, and then it's a lot of women out there that have really been intimidated and controlled during that marriage. And so I like to be there not only to strengthen my women, but also to encourage my males, whomever I'm representing, because many women are so beat down, they're about ready to accept
That makes sense.
anything.
That makes sense.
But I won't allow that.
That makes sense.
And when you talk about fees, you have to look at the firm and the attorney and their commitment to society, because, you know, I see law as a profession and a career,
Yes.
but also a calling.
Wow.
You know,
makes sense.
and it's not so much for the money, you know.
make a difference.
And so it's to make a difference, to empower people
That's great.
that are not empowered.
That's great.
Yeah.
I wish I had met you,
You know,
in 2009.
yeah. You know, I mean, we have to make a living.
That makes
Yeah.
perfect
You
sense.
know.
Oh, absolutely.
But the difference between $700 an hour and $400 an hour,
Yes.
or $300 an hour,
Yes. Yes.
It's
you know,
significant,
can
yeah.
determine
Absolutely.
on how much you pay.
Absolutely.
And then, do you get a bill for every time you call
My God.
my office?
See, all those things.
All of those things matter.
Yeah. What do you have,
The
Mr.
discussion
Coleman?
has raised some very serious estate planning concerns. And my first question to you would be, do you have a will? Do
No.
you have a trust?
I don't.
So then your estate is going to run afoul of all of those issues that I've raised. What I would ask you, what would be your objectives? Now, I heard there was another mom who was at once bitter.
Right.
That's one of the factors that I like to identify early in the game, because if you should leave the scene, that she's exposed. What do you own jointly? And what have you willed to her?
Okay.
And what do you wish to leave to the two sets of children? How do you wish to? You have to pay attention to that now.
Yes.
You can't wait until the end to let that happen, because generally there's a clash. And the sisters may get along well, but their children, their spouses, the other mother.
Wow.
Generally there's fiction
What you say?
against which you have to plan now,
Yeah.
so that we don't run into that situation. And when you come in to see me after you leave Marita, those are the situations I address.
Yeah.
Understood. Understood.
Yes.
And
yes,
that's
yes.
the reason I send them to him,
So
because they will come up.
It makes
yes,
perfect sense.
absolutely. So, guys, this is getting really good,
is.
okay? But we're going to be right back. But I want to first and foremost thank Elizabeth Baptist Church. They are our sponsor.
Yeah.
And we are so excited about our partnership with them. EBC is a wonderful, wonderful church. That is my church, actually. And I want to thank you all for being here. And it's EBC in your city. And please, please check them out on a Sunday service, right? 3 services.
No, they
and
got
how
more
many?
than 3 because they got 7
How many locations?
Three locations.
3 locations, but please check them out, EBC in your city. And also follow us on our social media platforms at My Dope Blend Podcast, at BMom40 on TikTok, and follow us on our website as well, My Dope Blend.
Yeah.
And make sure
MyDopeBlend.com.
you fill it out, because we're excited. We got more to talk about. This is getting good. This is very enlightening. I'm so excited because you guys are so poised and y'all got so much knowledge. I am very excited about what's coming up next.
Same. I think that I would love to ask for clarity,
Yeah.
Attorney Gregory. That.
You like saying
I
Attorney
like,
Gregory?
I like saying Attorney
He
Gregory.
likes that.
That was nice. Going back, you mentioned that to have a will, I want to make sure I'm getting it correctly. So, estate, having a will, basically, you raised the question of having a deed in your name if we owned a home
Right.
together, the marital, right?
Yes.
The marital. What was it? The marital assets, marital. What was it that you said?
The marital assets,
Marital
the home
assets.
that you bought when you married her,
right.
Okay.
Okay. So,
are both names on the deed.
right, and because if both names are not on the deed, let's say, okay, thank you. If my name is on the deed, right,
Only.
only, and then I pass,
Then the fraction is affected. The fraction of ownership, she would inherit according to the state's plan if you don't have a will.
understood.
She can get no less than a third. All of your children, by both marriages, would divide evenly the remaining 2/3.
Wow.
And so they would be on the deed. Your other children would be on the deed with her.
Makes sense.
And so if you don't want that situation, and I always ask, what are your objectives? I make you aware of what the possibilities are, and then I say, okay, now what are your objectives? If you want to keep those two spheres separate,
Yes.
then I would give you a planning device to separate them.
Makes sense. So now let me ask this question. Let's say the house is in her name, the deed is in her name, and I'm not on the deed, just hypothetically, and I pass.
Then
And
your
have no
children,
will.
your heirs cannot inherit. She gets everything.
Wow.
Even our boys?
No.
No, that's a separate
Oh,
question.
that's okay. Got it.
Right.
Okay,
So
got it.
my children from my first marriage.
Got it.
Cannot inherit.
Wow.
But now you can handle that by taking your name off the deed or with a will.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just,
Now,
I'm
with the
also
will-
asking for clarity, even for our viewers and
Absolutely.
listeners,
Okay.
right? Because basically what I'm hearing you saying is that if we had a marital asset of the home, if we owned a home together, and her name is on the deed and I'm not,
Yes.
and I don't have a will, basically my children, my firstborn girls.
Cannot inherit. Wow. That's correct.
So I have a question with that, because we've owned 2 homes together, and we flip flopped. Like the first home was in my name, and I think this home you're first, but I am on it, I believe. But we're both on this second home. But you also talked about taking out insurance policies as well on for the older kids, for his kids from the previous marriage. Now, with that, does he have to have permission from their mother to do that, or can he just?
Yeah, that's an insurance question.
Okay.
So he wouldn't have to have insurance. Those are his children. If he wants to make them beneficiaries, he could.
Okay, got it.
But let me just say this about insurance.
Yes,
That's, insurance is what we call a non-probate asset. It won't go through probate court.
Okay.
Okay.
In fact, a trust doesn't typically go through probate court. They're non-probate assets, insurance, bank accounts, anything with a designated beneficiary, a 401k,
Got it.
IRAs, any accounts
Roth
that have
IRAs,
designated
okay.
beneficiaries evade the probate process. And that's a big thing with some people because they don't want people to know what they have. They want the whole process to be private. So a trust is considered a private instrument, which can be a will substitute
Okay.
and will allow you to do all of this in private, and it'll never go through the probate court.
Okay. Understood. That's great.
That's real. Okay, so you want to say something before? Okay, go ahead.
I do, because Georgia is a separate property state.
Okay.
Georgia is not a marital property state.
What does that
But
mean?
Yeah.
What does that
okay,
mean?
and when he was talking about if you whoever deceased first,
Sure.
okay, it means that what is your property is your property. What is her property would be her property. However, in the event of a divorce, there's a doctrine called equitable division, which is very similar to what you would do in a marital property state, but a judge would decide what is equitable and just in this situation, which is generally one half.
Okay.
So that means that even though this is a separate property state, the house is in your name or the house is in her name, it doesn't matter whose name the house is in.
Okay.
If you're getting a divorce, it can be divided under the equitable division doctrine.
Okay.
But now it's different if you live together until you die, and you die in the home. The home is in one of
Right.
your names.
Right.
That's your separate property.
Wow.
So in a divorce, it can become marital property, and I'll say that
Okay.
so that people can understand it
Absolutely.
clearly.
Yeah.
It will become marital property if you die because you're going to get an equitable division.
Of that.
But upon your death, if you live together, you don't divorce upon your death, as Attorney Coleman stated, it is, excuse me, it's separate property.
Wow.
Now we're getting away, and we're raising many, many questions, and I don't want to obfuscate or confuse what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Speak,
But
sir.
Marita is an expert on what I'm about to say, but I had a couple the other day who came in and they had children together, and they kept talking and we kept asking questions, and I learned they had been together since 1990, living together and having children, living as man and wife. Well, that invoked the concept of common law marriage, which is a real marriage. You have
Right.
to get a real divorce.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they didn't know that.
Wow.
Because they wanted to go their separate ways.
Wow.
Well, one of them wanted to go their separate ways.
It's always that one. It's
So you have to
always
be
that one.
careful because that common law marriage, if it goes back before 1997, I believe it is, it's considered a common law marriage. You have to get a divorce. You just can't walk.
That is
Wow.
new information.
Yeah, I didn't know that too. This is crazy.
Yeah, because my understanding of common law was always you're just not married. So when the time comes, if
just walk away.
If one wants to walk away, then you could just but you have to have a divorce.
Yeah, you
Well,
have
not now, but
to-
it used
that
Anything-
was my first case when I got out of law school.
Used to
Yeah.
be.
Marita's the
Used to
expert in
be.
this
Okay,
area.
yeah.
Okay.
Now I want to bring up something because this is where it's going to get touchy, and I know this is what our viewers really want to hear about, and we're just going to go right to it. And that child support conversation, that money, because if you don't mind, babe, me talking a little bit on our experience.
Okay.
Not going too much, but When I looked at that child support agreement, my husband has joint custody, which to me is 50-50, right? But it is not.
Teach
No,
us.
it depends
Teach us,
on
see?
what type of joint custody that you have. Now, if you have joint legal custody,
Okay.
there should be a designated parent
The primary.
that would have primary custody.
Correct.
Because without that joint legal custody, he would have had to get permission from the ex-wife. Anytime,
children.
well, not to see the children because you would have visitation.
Okay.
But anytime that you wanted to know about their educational
Okay.
information, medical information,
Okay.
you would have to go through the
other parent.
ex-wife or extracurriculum, religion.
Okay.
You know, so the joint legal custody give you the same rights that you don't have to ask, can I do this? Can I see this?
Right.
Can I go talk to the doctor? You are able to do that with joint legal custody. You have
Okay.
all of the legal rights
Understood.
as a parent
Okay.
that she would have.
Okay.
But she would have the primary
Which is the case.
Which
she would have the primary custody.
Correct.
There is joint custody, joint physical custody
Okay.
of children, but usually the courts look for agreements in that situation because it's very difficult to maneuver if the parents are always at odds.
Sure.
yes.
Yeah. And so I've had clients that have the father having 1 week and
Right.
they have another the next week. Do they pay child support? It depends upon your income. And you pay the difference.
Okay. That's another thing because in our situation, so it was paying child support in addition to, and tell me if this is right or not, my husband was paying child support and half of anything else. Child support and half. Like, it just didn't make sense.
Well, that's because you entered into an agreement.
Right.
Yeah. That's because
Right?
you
He's, look,
agreed.
Mr. Coleman,
That's-
without a lawyer.
Attorney Gregory.
Gregory, they should have, Greg,
Yes, ma'am.
you should have come to Johnson Hopewell Coleman.
Right. Come on now.
If you had done that,
Yeah,
so you wouldn't
oh,
have
if I had
been.
done
I mean,
that.
you can agree.
Yes.
You can
Okay.
agree to anything that you want to agree on.
Okay,
But what
sure.
you can't do is say that I'm going to pay 1/2 of everything and not pay child support. That is, you first have to pay
Child support.
child support. Anything after that is a gift.
Okay.
Okay,
You
wait.
don't have to
Wait.
get- okay.
Say that again. Anything after that is a what?
Is a gift.
All right.
Yeah. So you don't
have to do
do anything
Close
other
up on her,
than
please.
what you are
It's a
ordered
gift.
to do.
Understood.
And that is to pay child support.
Understood.
I've had clients that come to me and say, well, I buy clothes
Right.
and I pay for their trips and that's all in well.
Right.
But you got to pay your child support.
Understood.
That's the first thing
That makes
you
sense.
have to do.
And so if I'm correct in hearing you, because the agreement that I signed was child support, which was a certain amount, plus 50% of everything above that or beyond that, right? So what you're saying is that you
didn't have to do
I didn't
that.
have to do that, but
Come on, God. Okay, I'm sorry.
But-
Go ahead.
because I signed it, I did have to do it.
Yeah.
At that point,
At that point, once the
it
judge
was not
made it an
a
order.
gift.
Yeah, once the judge made it an order, once he incorporated or she incorporated that agreement into the order,
I was locked.
then you were locked into it.
Makes sense. So it was no longer a gift at that point. It was the agreement.
Well, it was the gift
Well,
that
I'm
you
just saying.
signed
I mean,
for.
I
Right.
understand. It was
Now-
the gift that just kept on giving.
Now, I mean, I'm gonna be very honest. I'm going to share different DMs and things like that I've received, because I've had questions like, okay, my child is in private school, but I pulled him out. But I also, on top of my child support, received, additional funds for the private school. Do I need to tell him that I'm no longer putting the kids in private school because I still want to get that extra
see,
money?
that's wrong.
And so I'm asking because she also mentioned that in regards to like if your salaries changed or increased, you don't have to necessarily report that. So do you have to?
Well, your income does
Mm-hmm.
not determine his child support.
Okay, that's
That's
a good thing to
his
know,
income.
people.
My income determines child support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his income
I have that
determines
understanding.
child support.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So your income does not determine how
Yeah.
much he pays.
Right,
It's
right.
his income
Right.
and the mother's income.
But coming back to your point, the reason why I said it would be wrong, in my opinion, as the ex-husband that's paying the child support, if I'm paying child support and I'm paying half of the private school each month, but that wasn't a part of the agreement. That was just something that
Yeah.
you and I agreed to do. And then you pull the child out of public
And
out
you
of private
receive,
school.
continue to receive
But
that.
you don't tell me that you pulled the child out of private school and I'm still paying it every month. Yeah, you wrong.
Well, what child? Which child?
His
It would have to be the child that we had
Pull
together.
his child out of private school.
Well, in this situation, it is the mother of his child, and I'm just using him as example, but it's actually someone that DM'd
Right.
me a question, and they are the primary parent, but with their ex, he was paying extra for private school
Above
child
child
support, and she pulled the child
But
out
it
of the
wasn't
private
a
school.
written agreement or decree.
And the ex-husband has not been aware of the fact that he's still giving that money for private and the child is out of the school.
So he's paying it directly to the wife.
He's sick.
Right.
Yep,
So
he's
can I
paying
ask a
directly.
question then? Using that as an example, I'm the ex-husband, and just hypothetically, my ex-wife has pulled the child out of private school. I've been paying above my child support, and still been paying it even though the child hasn't been in private school. Now, do I have legal rights to go back and say, hey, for the past year, I've been paying you $500 a month or $1,000 a month, and they're not even in private school. They haven't been. So you owe me that. That's my money.
Well, it would be different if it was in the divorce decree.
Right. Well, so
Yeah.
I'm saying if it was not.
Yeah, if
though.
it was not
'Cause
in the
from
divorce
from what it
decree.
sounds like, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Yeah, then that would be a civil action. I mean, that would be something that you would bring in civil court. And
Do y'all hear this?
determine whether or not the money was owed.
Yeah.
Do y'all hear
So
this?
that would not
This is good.
be.
This is good.
Yeah,
This
that would
is-
not
This
be,
is Donna.
This is good, y'all, because this is, I mean, for
Because if
our
it
listeners,
was
come on
in
now.
if it was in the divorce decree
Yes.
and she did not inform
Okay.
the father,
Yes.
then the father could bring a contempt
Ah.
and try to recover the money.
okay.
But since it was not a part of
Yeah.
the divorce decree,
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
and if the father said that we had this agreement that I would pay, you would have to take it to civil court.
That's great.
Under just contract principles.
Sure.
Or maybe
That-
fraud.
I'm
You have to
sorry.
prove the agreement.
Okay.
The
Understood.
verbal.
If you just gave it voluntarily,
Right.
Yeah, I said you would have to prove
makes sense.
prove it through contract law.
Makes sense.
Whether or not.
Makes sense. That makes perfect sense, though. And that's a great help, though. I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean,
And that's where you can represent yourself
Right.
in magistrate
No
court.
shade.
In magistrate court.
Yeah, anything
Yes.
under
Understand.
15,000.
But when you
Okay.
get a divorce, come on, yeah,
No,
guys,
don't
get a
represent-
lawyer.
So listen, everybody. Like she said, if you get in a divorce,
Yes.
hire an attorney.
Hire an attorney.
Hire an attorney.
Hire an
Call
attorney.
Johnson Hopewell
Yes.
Coleman.
Because the reality of it is,
Yeah.
if the average person, I consider myself to be an intelligent man,
Mm-hmm.
and I can kind of read through and figure my way out. But at the end of the day, I'm not an attorney.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes the desire to want to keep peace. And, you know, at some point in time, we'll talk about the difference between keeping peace and making peace. But the reality of it is sometimes in the desire of wanting to just keep peace, you end up allowing yourself to have the short end of the stick.
Absolutely.
And then, in addition to that, Greg, I'll say this: a lot of people represent themselves because they feel that they can represent themselves. I know what we got. I know, but what they don't know is what the law is.
Right.
That part.
And see,
So-
that's
so-
the most crucial
So is
to understand.
is it true what they
the
say
law is.
that any
A lawyer that represents themselves
Has
has,
a
a fool
fool
for a client.
Yes.
I have always heard that. And,
Yeah.
and hello, I'm the fool.
Oh God. Well, you know what?
I'm only kidding.
At least you're being honest. But I want to incorporate something that I think is very important. So if you all, for the viewers that are seeing, I have a bowl of Skittles. For those that are listening, you hear me. I have a bowl of Skittles, but they have different colors. You know, it's the color of the rainbow. But for our blended dynamic, these represent very key and critical things. And I want our guest, I want Attorney Coleman, I actually want to pick the color for him because I want to ask him a question specifically.
Well, it's your show, man.
So, but I want to stress
only
what the
kidding.
colors are. The green is used words to describe family. Orange is what needs to be improved in the family setup. Red is what are the worries. And yellow describes the favorite memories people have had within their family dynamic. And purple describe the fun activities. But because we're here talking about finance and, you know, a very hard topic, I think the orange and the red are what needs to be pulled. And I really want you to pull the orange because I want you to tell me what needs to be improved when you're talking about the blended dynamic and the fact, do you eat Skittles? You don't have to eat it.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to just say he pulled the orange. But I want you to tell me what needs to be improved in this dynamic and what they need to educate themselves on.
Well, I think we need to raise the consciousness of persons in blended families, and that's most families these days, about
sir.
the estate consequences when they pass away.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
If there is no plan,
Yes, sir.
all kinds of unexpected consequences. I've given you a few now. The
Yeah.
state has a plan for you.
Wow.
And under that plan, your heirs do not include people who are not blood related to you. Your children, your stepchildren are not your heirs. Now you can adopt them and they become your heirs.
Wow.
But if you don't, they cannot. Your children cannot inherit from her because they're her stepchildren. But your children can inherit from him. So if your name only is on the deed,
Yes.
then only your children will inherit.
Yeah.
Sense.
The deed, marital property, not property he had
Makes
before.
sense. Sure.
Now, if his name is on the deed, then his children from the previous marriage and your children inherit, and you. Everybody's on the deed together. In other words, that can be a mess
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
because everybody can move in, but nobody can put anybody out.
That makes sense. Wow. Wow.
And so that can be a real
Wow.
complication. You must have planning. You must have
Yeah.
either
Y'all
a
hear
trust
that?
or a will or both.
Yes.
And Greg, I think that we just had a situation where the daughter not only put the daughter not only put the mother out, she called the police, and the mother was arrested. That may be something you want.
Well, I have a case now where the daughter put the stepmother out.
Yeah,
My
the
God.
stepmother. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
The
put her
stepmother
out
out.
before the funeral and anything. And so you have to
this
be
got
very
good.
careful,
This just got
especially
good.
if you have bitter.
Exactly. Bitter.
Yeah. Because and to that point, you know, our dynamic by the grace of God is harmonious.
Yes.
Thank the Lord. With regards to my wife, my biological children, her bonus children, and our biological children together, our dynamic as a blended family is dope, right? So I wouldn't be concerned with that, right? But there are so many people that's not the case.
And I would have to tell you, as a lawyer, because our responsibility is to anticipate the worst case scenario.
Understood.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The things that you think won't happen.
Yes, sir. That makes
sometimes
perfect
happen.
sense.
And like I say,
That makes
your
perfect sense.
dynamic might be pleasant, but your ex-wife's next husband
Mr.
may
Coleman,
not be as amicable.
Attorney Coleman, you meddling. Yes, sir.
So
You going in
you have all
another
these-
episode.
You have these other parties who come into the picture.
That's true.
And they're not pleasant and amicable.
That is true.
So therefore, you must plan
Protect. Yes, sir.
for the worst case scenario.
That makes sense.
And then I'd just like to add to that
Yeah.
is that although everything's friendly now,
yeah.
you always have to remember that your kids are the kids of your ex-wife.
Yes.
And no matter how the dynamics are right now upon your death,
Yeah.
the one that is most influential
Yes, ma'am.
to your children
The mother.
is the mother.
That makes sense.
And I'm gonna tell you and Greg can attest to this, and I can attest for it in my own family. When a person dies and there's money,
2 pennies.
I mean, yeah, and there's money.
All it takes is 2 cents.
When it comes to biological
Yes.
whole families,
Yes.
sisters and brothers,
Yes.
they fight.
Wow. Wow.
Let me tell you something. And I was going to give you the red to say what worries them, but you just told me.
Yeah,
you
that
you
was
really
it.
just told me. Guys, this I'm going to be honest with you. I want a part 2. Let's be real. I want a part 2 and I want you all back because I think we need to pull back more layers because there's more to be said and I think people want to hear more because I know this episode is going to bring forth so many questions. And so I hate to end this, but we have to. But I want to also, can you tell me the law firm again? Because for you all listening, you guys got to go to their law firm. That is enough said. Enough said.
Absolutely.
You have to go to their law firm and you have to get the knowledge because my thing is knowledge is important. Knowledge is what helps. And as Attorney Coleman says, you got to plan.
Yeah.
You got to plan. You got to protect. And you have to look at all sides. And Attorney Johnson just said also that, there's so many factors that come into play and you guys got to look at that and you can't let the emotions take control. So please, and whoever wants to speak in regards to the name of the law firm is?
The name of the law firm is Johnson Hopewell Coleman.
Yes.
And our website is www.jhclawyers.com.
Yes.
Our phone number is 404-289-2244.
Yes.
And so we are a people's law firm. We make money, but we don't practice to get rich.
Absolutely.
So I think that we're here to serve. And so
And you
when
have
you need a
served
lawyer,
today.
Yes, ma'am.
Johnson Hopewell Coleman.
I love it.
Thank you all so much for your time, babe. Do you have anything to say?
No. If I could go back in time, I would have called. What's the number? No.
Well, once again, guys, my blended family, thank you so much for all your love, all your support. Thank you for listening to this episode. And I hope that it has helped you all who are viewing, who are listening. Think about these things before or as you're going through the divorce. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself or have someone stand up for you. Make sure you plan for the future. I know it's sometimes the most difficult thing to do, but it's an important thing to do. Us as a culture, we need to learn how to prepare for those things. I want to thank our guests today. You all have been great. Part 2 is coming. And as I always say, keep blending. Peace out.
Peace out.